Hello. I'll start off by saying I come from a land from a faraway place where the caravan camels roll. Well, it's flat and immense and the heat is intense. It's barbaric but hates home. I'm from the Kingdom of Bahrain. It's situated between Saudi Arabia and the Emirates. I studied interior and spatial design at the University of the Arts London. I spent 4 years of my life in London, but I'm now based in Bahrain. When I'm not a student or when I'm not working, I'm an artist. I've always, I wasn't always an artist. My father is the head of the Ministry of Interior's police band. So at a very young age, my father tried pressuring me into learning a musical instrument and becoming a musician to carry on his legacy and be his protege to a certain extent. So I started music at a very young age. Not this young, but this is a picture of me learning the oud. My father encouraged me to learn a lot of different instruments. So I went from learning to play the oud, to the violin, to the saxophone, trumpet, piano, everything. But I never liked music. Music was never my thing. I felt frustrated and I didn't feel like this is what I wanted to be doing. So I've always had an artistic side. As a kid, I'd scribble everywhere. I'd scribble on desks, on the walls, on the floors, everywhere. And I had lots of problems in school. I'd be sent to detention for scribbling on desks and then scribble on desks in detention. Art wasn't always something I took seriously until I was on the IB art course in high school. This is Mr. Wayne Hampton, my high school art teacher. He was the main, what got me into art and what made me think professionally about art. He was able to teach me and give me references about different artists like Jean-Michel Basquiat, who is my main inspiration, Jean Miro, Gerard Deschamps. All these I was able to learn from these artists the idea of the final result, how to communicate my idea and reach the final result. So during my high school time on the IB course, I was able to compare and contrast between my work and the work of different artists. This is a drawing I did when I was a kid and a painting by Basquiat. So after high school, I traveled for university. I came to London. Like every international student, I had big dreams. I left everything in Bahrain. I thought Bahrain was too small for my potential and too small for my dreams. But I realized after 4 years that it is not. I need Bahrain and Bahrain needs me. So I was able to learn everything here in London and then try to apply it and fill in the gaps between the two cultures. Painting wasn't something I stressed about. I've never painted in London. I'd always paint in Bahrain because of the way I work. My paintings are very big. This is my studio in Bahrain. My paintings are very big, and I wanted a designated space where I could work freely. So because of being in London, I went through a lot of difficulties in trying to keep the artistic juices flowing. So I came up with a solution. I didn't want to stop. So instead of painting on canvas in Bahrain, I drew with pencil on paper in London. So as you can see, these are the first two images on the top are examples of sketches I draw in London, and then when I go back to Bahrain, I'd apply them to paint. I'd carry journals around with me. I'd plan my paintings. So I wanted to make use of the time I had. So in my time in London, I was able to learn the art of comparing, the art of comparison. I'd compare and contrast a lot of things I'd go through in Bahrain and London because they're very different, and living in two places at the same time gives you a different perspective on the way you view on things. So I feel like I was able to realize that a lot of people where I'm from in Bahrain are imitating the West, trying to become like the West, trying to dress like the West, think like the West, act like the West. I feel like this is all because of globalization. I feel like the world is losing touch of its culture and heritage, and everything is becoming one. So I was able to think of a theory, which is the modernization versus westernization. I feel like a lot of cultures around the world leave their traditions, and instead of modernizing and improving on what they are on, they disregard it and then simply westernized by imitating the West. So what is art? Art is a representation of expression. It's my emotions, your emotions. It's how your perspective and the way you view life. Everyone has his own perspective on life and the way they appreciate and judge things. One of the main themes I look at in my painting is primitivism. Primitivism is, to a certain extent, how and to what extent do you disregard disregard everything and go back to a simple life and strip things down to basics? So this is the first painting I'm going to talk about. It's called Praetorius. It's one of the first paintings I've ever worked on. This is one of my favorite paintings because it has all the aspects I want to build upon. For this painting, I took a drawing I did when I was a kid, which is this one, and I improved that one and modernized that one and got this version of it. So with this paint, this is my version of primitivism by going back to how I used to be and disregard the complexity of our everyday lives and the way we deal with how we are and who we are. So also with this painting, I gave my classmates the chance to add and write down things that define them on my paintings. As you can see, there's love, laugh, live, and happy. This is one of my classmates wrote that on my paintings. I feel like these innocent colors and innocent symbols are in a way going back to a primitive you, an untouched version of yourself. For man, I took this painting, Man, I take that forward by looking at how man is on the inside and how he is on the outside. This painting is quite personal, and it has a close, I'm very close attached to this painting because I'm able to express how I face with the hardships of modern day life and society and the things that are expected of you. So in this painting, everything around and in is colored, whereas the man is in black and white. This shows how a man puts on a facade and dresses up in materialistic, superficial dress, whereas keeps his inside and keeps his primitive childhood characteristics bottled inside and locked inside, and that quickly dies. I want to encourage disregarding that facade and letting out the creativity that is found inside us. The man also has a medal on his suit. This also symbolizes how society praises him and rewards the man for dressing up in a certain way and looking and acting a certain way. However, I feel like you have the ability to create, you have the ability to think the way you want to think. That's the reason why I have create written on the man's forehead. Everyone primitively has the potential to create, whether they're artistic or not. For this painting, Man's Potential, I covered myself in paint, in white paint, and launched myself on the canvas to create the silhouette. I then marked the special and most significant organs found in the human body. I look at the bicep and compare it to the power of the tiger. I have the heart and I compare it to the saying and phrase, lion heart of steel. The knee is also important because a human being gets to travel and widen his understanding of life, go out and learn from different cultures and have different perspectives. Also, the ring, I give significance to the finger ring, the ring finger, where that is usually where the wedding ring goes. It symbolizes, and it's connected to the flowers. It symbolizes how, when coming up with a family and having a family, you potentially create more people, men, women, that potentially will be great and create better things in life. I also put emphasis on the brain and annotate a crown on it because I feel like a crown is something you are born with. A crown is not something you buy and wear. It is how you use your brain, is how you wear your crown. This painting, Plank, I painted this after finishing my BA. After going back to Bahrain, I was able to compare and contrast and see and learn to appreciate how the, not to appreciate, but learn how the Arabic culture is deteriorating slowly. I feel like a lot of it is because of globalization and westernization. So I use an example of other cultures that deteriorated, like the Red Indians, the Native Americans. I compare that. This painting is almost like a pie chart. So this is what remains, and this is what is removed. I feel like even what remains is stained because of modernization, because of westernization, and because of disregarding the importance of culture. I took a quite controversial response to this painting. This painting is Fear of God. This painting symbolizes how we forget what is important and deal with other conflicts and do not look at the big picture. So the figure on top, the man on top, symbolizes the GCC countries. The colorful hair symbolizes the rich culture, beauty, and rich culture like the arts, painting, music, and everything. And the colors on the face represent the flags of the GCC country. I used the Kaaba, which is the most sacred point in the Muslim world, where Muslims go to for pilgrimage. It is one of the 5 pillars of Islam. This is not a religious symbol. This is the Kaaba symbolizes importance and not religion in this painting. I feel like because of conflict, interior conflict, you do not grasp on what is important. Instead of the figure grasping down and holding the important symbol, it is dealing with interior conflicts. So therefore, you should grasp on what is important and look at the big picture and forget about and try to resolve interior conflicts as much as possible. For this painting, I feel like this is my last painting. I feel like this serves as a solution to the problem. The monster or figure on the left side symbolizes the Bahraini skyline, the western part of the westernized part of Bahrain, and it's terrorizing the seaside. It's also holding a bag of pearls. Bahrain was known to be the best country in the world that exported pearls. The Queen of England used to also wear Bahraini pearls because of how good the quality was. Here, traditional Bahraini divers are diving down and by going back to their roots to fight the future. So I want to encourage going back to your roots and learning from the past to save the future. So how do you improve? We are all different. Everyone is different in their own special way. I feel like we come from lots of places all over the world, and everything is unique to us. What makes us different is what makes us interesting. So you should grasp on what is important to you and where you come from. You must not disregard where you come from and what you stand for. I feel like you should modernize, learn, and improve on where you come from and how and what you come from. You should learn to improve and modernize it. I don't want to conclude this talk. I don't want this to be a conclusion. I want this to be a beginning. I want you to change your perspective on the way you look at things. Try to appreciate the authenticity of your culture or anything you see, and find the beauty in everything. Everything is beautiful in its own way and form, especially with traditions and something primitive, something original, something untouched. You can take that, build upon that, modernize that, improve that. Do not disregard it. Do not throw it away. This is your chance. You are unique in your own individual way because of where you come from and your experiences in life. So please try and find that, grasp it, improve it, modernize it, and be you. Thank you.